Let's discuss about write variables in this lesson. First, look at the definition. So, variables are used to store a piece of data temporarily on the CPI tenant. So, this word is very important, temporarily. Okay. To access variables, we have to use a content modifier step, and variables gets expired after 400 days of pretension period. So, these are temporary storage units and they get expired after 400 days. Now let's see how to create these variables, how to access them in our iFlows. Okay. Let's create one integration flow and name it as write variables. And the description, this iFlow is used to demonstrate add and open in editor. I'm going to turn on the trace, go to edit mode, take the timer and remove the start. Right. So I would like to store some data in a write variable. Okay. So for that, I'm going to take one content modifier and name it as sample data. Okay. So in the message body, I will simply say hello world. So I would like to store this sample data in a variable. Further, we have to go to persistence section, and under persistence we have write variables option. Okay. So I'm going to take this, and in the processing section we have to add one variable, and I'm going to click on add, and I'm going to name it as sample data, and type would be expression. So I would like to read this incoming payload, incoming body in my variable. So I am going to select expression, and in the data type we have to provide a valid Java class. Like we discussed, when we select either XPath or expression, we have to provide the data type of that value. Okay, I'm going to say java dot lang dot string. In the value, I'm going to simply write my expression dollar curly braces word. So variables are of two types. One is global variable and the other one is local variable. The main difference between global and local is simple. Global variables can be accessed from any iFlow in our CPI tenant, whereas these local variables can be accessed only from the one particular iFlow, from the iFlow which they have been created. Okay, so I am going to close this and run my integration. So it ran successfully. Let's look at the body after the write variable. So it just returned the previous body. So let's check it is able to create our variable or not. I'm going to duplicate this tab and go to monitor section. Scroll down a bit. Here you can find manage stores. So we have to select this variable type, and here we have a sample data which we have created and the name of the integration flow and when it is updated and what is the expiration date of that variable. Okay, so we have couple of options, either we can download this and delete this. Okay, simple. So I'm going to see what data it holds. So I will simply select this and it says hello world. Okay, so it is able to create the variable. So the next step is how to access the variable. I'm going to remove the trace and remove this write variable step and this sample data as well. I'm going to take a fresh content modifier and name it as get variables. Right. So how we can get the variable value? Using either properties or headers. So I'm going to select exchange property and create one property here and name it as simply data. Okay. Source type, we have option local variable and global variable. So we have created our variable in a local scope. So I'm going to select a local variable, and in the source value I have to provide the variable name. What we have named our variable, sample data. So I'm going to copy this and paste it here, right? So we have the option to give a default value. If CPI is not able to find this variable, then it will consider this default value. So I'm going to leave it as is. So next we are going to read this variable value. So I will take another content modifier and name it as read variables. So we have stored our variable in the exchange property here called data, right? I am going to copy this. In the second content modifier, in the body section, I am going to say dollar curly braces property. Since we have used property to store the variable value, okay? Property dot name of our property data, right? Since I have used expression here, I am going to change the type, and let's try to deploy this and see if we get the value or not. So let's look at the output. Here we have, it is able to get the value of our variable. Simple, right? So one of the main use cases, I'm going to close this. Let's create another variable which holds the current date time of our run. So I'm going to say, I'm going to remove this. I'm going to take a write variable, and in the write variable, I'm going to add and name it as current date time, right? So I would like to store the current date time, and the type I will select expression, and in the data type we have to provide a valid Java class. So I'm going to say java dot lang dot string. Okay. In the value we have to write the actual expression. So I'm going to say dollar curly braces. What is the syntax to get the current date? Date colon now, right? Now we have to provide the date format, right? So I'm going to say dd hyphen hyphen YYY, and I would like to include timestamp. So I will say T and then write the expression for our time. So I'm going to say HH colon colon SS, and in the time zone I'm going to say capital Z. I'm going to close the curly braces, right? So for this one, I'm going to select the global scope and close this and deploy. So let's check the variables section in the monitor. I'm going to refresh it. So it created current date time, but if you observe, it didn't return the integration flow name since we have selected the scope global. So it can be accessed from any iFLow in our CPI tenant. Simple, right? So if we look at the value here, it says 03/01/2026 T, and this time is in UTC, Universal Time Zone. Okay. So I'm going to read this current date time from another iFLow. Let's try to do that. So I will save this and go back to our package. Create one more integration flow that says read write variables. And in the description, this iFLow is used to demonstrate global variable concept. Add and open in editor. Let's take the timer. Now, how can I read the value of a variable using a content modifier, right? So, I am going to take a content modifier, and in the content modifier I am going to say get variables, right? In the exchange property I am going to add one property and name it as date time, right? In the source type I am going to select global variable this time, and in the source value I have to provide the variable name. So, I will copy paste this and paste it. I am not going to give any default value. If you would like to return the default value, if the CPI does not find this variable, you can provide default value, but I am going to leave it as is for now. We have read the variable inside a property, right? Now, to actually access it, we are going to take another content modifier and name it as read variables. Message body, I am going to say dollar curly braces property dot date time. Change the type to expression and deploy it. So, in the final output, it returned the data or date time stored in the variable. So, this is how we create variables and access those variables. But we should ask me a question right now. What is the difference between exchange properties and variables? So, we have created these variables, created these exchange properties in a very similar manner, right? So, let us discuss what is the actual difference between headers, properties and variables in the next upcoming lesson.